美国近期威胁称，将从2026年开始在德国部署远程攻击系统，其射程能够覆盖俄罗斯莫斯科、圣彼得堡等重要地区。对此，俄总统普京最新回应：若美德部署，俄将对等反制。外界担忧美方或又挑起冷战时期的导弹危机。
This situation recalls the events of the Cold War era associated with the deployment of American Pershing medium-range missiles in Europe. If the US implements such plans, we will consider ourselves free from the previously imposed one-sided moratorium on the deployment of our medium and short-range strike systems.
当地时间28号，俄罗斯海军节主阅兵式在圣彼得堡市举行。俄总统普京在讲话中警告，如果美国在德国部署远程导弹，俄罗斯将做出对等回应。本月早些时候，美国在北约峰会上宣布，将于2026年开始在德国部署远程攻击系统，其中包括 SM-6导弹、战斧巡航导弹以及正在研发的高超音速武器，其射程将远超欧洲目前部署的任何陆基火力系统。该消息直接刺激了普京的神经。
Important Russian state and military objects, our administrative industrial centers, our defense infrastructure will fall within the missile's range. The flight time to targets on our territory for such missiles, which may potentially be equipped with nuclear warheads, will be about 10 minutes.
作为回应，普京强调，俄方将采取措施提高俄海军岸防部队的作战能力。同时，他透露，一些相应级别导弹系统的研发已经进入最后阶段。苏联和美国曾于1987年12月签署了中导条约。 条约规定，两国不再保有生产或试射射程在500公里至5500公里的陆基巡航导弹和弹道导弹。之后，双方销毁2692枚导弹。苏联解体后，俄罗斯继承了该条约的义务。2019年，特朗普政府单方面退出中导条约，俄方随后停止履行条约规定，该条约于当年失效。外界担忧美方或又引发中导威胁。
美国从2019年退出中导条约以后，应该一直在筹谋重新在欧洲，甚至在亚洲部署陆基的中程导弹。选择德国来部署，这是有传统，它的位于欧洲的中心啊。如果在这里部署比如说1000到2000公里的陆基导弹，那么可以把圣彼得堡莫斯科都纳入它的射程范围。那么第二呢，就是现在的这个。 德国执政党索尔茨总理执政党联盟，包括这个德国民众，大多数是持支持态度的。
尽管德国政府强硬表态称不会因俄罗斯的威胁而退缩，但对于在本土部署美国导弹，德国内部仍有不少反对声音。德国绿党、选择党、社民党都有提醒此举可能引发重大战争风险，而外界对于美方所料的狠话也存在质疑，不确定对于美国现任政府的政策下届会否延续。 特朗普在其上一届任期中曾一再威胁要让美国退出北约，在此次竞选中，他重复了之前的指责，批评欧洲北约盟国的国防开支过低，警告有关国家如果军费不达标，就不能指望美国为其提供保护。 事实上，对于白宫会否易主的焦虑已在欧洲蔓延了一段时间。最为紧张的当属乌克兰。特朗普曾反对美国继续向乌克兰提供军事援助，还曾扬言，如若重新上台，能在24小时内解决俄乌问题，甚至被曝可能会向基辅施压，要求其放弃部分领土，从而结束冲突。
The US presidential election in November is expected to have a significant impact on Ukraine's hope of peace. Kyiv contacted the camps of Trump and US Vice President Kamala Harris this month. Zelensky revealed he'd invited Trump to his country during a phone meeting.
泽连斯基26号接受日本广播协会采访时表示，他已邀请特朗普亲自前往乌克兰看看，或者有问题直接问他。
We have been in contact with his team. Mr. Trump told me he was available for any questions, and that I have his phone number.
我觉得。 在选举结束之前，他可能不会接受邀请因为乌克兰是一个非常复杂的一个问题如果是在投票之前贸然去访问的话，可能不一定有好的结果
今年是中法建交60周年、中法文化旅游年和巴黎奥运年3年合一，中法间丰富的经贸文化交流给两国人民留下了深刻印象。 前不久胜利闭幕的中共20届三中全会是全世界观察中国的重要窗口。在广东生活了20年的中国法国工商会常务副会长百济言对深圳卫视表示，中国正处于以创新为核心的全面改革当中，同时基于特殊的友谊，中法的双向奔赴遍地开花。
In China and create in China is also some of the best material, advanced materials and also techniques. And we know that China has been pushing concerning sustainability and green products. So it's good to have the best from China in France during those Olympics.
百济言注意到，正在举行的巴黎奥运会上，处处可见中国元素，如彩色乒乓球台、可回收的运动地板、首次应用智能芯片的运动垫等。从中国制造到中国制造，生产力的提质升级带来的不仅仅是中国品牌效应，也是中国经济迈向高质量发展的重要引擎。不久前闭幕的20届三中全会提出，要构建支持全面创新体制机制，深化科技体制改革。薄济言认为，这意味着中国正推动生产力全面改革，有望引领新一轮的技术革命。
How do you think this kind of new quality productive forces play the roles in the China's economy transition?
China is now in the middle of a great transformation with a very strong innovation base, but coming from a quantity economy driven to nowadays to a quality driven economy. Technological innovation is at the core of China process of transformation into many fields. Institutional management systems, from government to institution to private companies to R&D research lab, China is pushing itself to adapt to this new world.
新质生产力的发展离不开配套的产业政策和营商环境，越来越多聚焦新兴和未来产业的法资企业选择投资落地粤港澳大湾区就是最好例证。这其中包括法国知名药企赛诺菲、聚焦绿色产业的威利亚环境集团以及老牌能源公司施耐德。在百济言看来，粤港澳大湾区不仅是培育和发展新质生产力的沃土，也是外国企业进入中国大陆的试水场。
We have in the Greater Bay Area here very interesting strategic clusters, and those clusters are a perfect combination, a mix match concerning institution, academics, and R&D labs, and also local governance. We know that what's happening in the Greater Bay Area is there to probably reform the other provinces, and it's important for French companies or foreign companies to be in the Greater Bay Area to try to experiment what they can do at a larger level in China mainland.
在中法两国元首引领下，从法国农场到中国餐桌已成为两国合作的一张亮丽名片。最快只需48小时，法国的农产品就能端上中国的餐桌。百济言就是这套合作体系的受益者。百济言的另一个身份是在广东生活了20多年的地道老广，投资了多家粤菜和海南菜馆。在他的海南菜馆里，食客们可以品尝从法国运来的食材。今年对中法关系而言十分特殊，是中法建交60周年、中法文化旅游年和巴黎奥运年3年合一。60年来，中法关系始终走在中国与西方大国关系前列。百济言认为，中法关系的发展对于欧洲乃至世界都有启示意义。
France and China have a special relations. It's a true relationship. It's an important one. It's a genuine one. It's authentic, and it's very important also for the world because China and France together, express about peace, and it's about respect.
不过，中欧关系仍然存在一些负面因素。当前，欧盟以所谓产能过剩为由，决定对中国产电动汽车加征最高37.6%的临时关税，引发外界对中欧可能爆发贸易战的担忧。百济言此前曾多次公开反对西方以去全球化、去风险遏制中国发展的举措。他再次向深圳卫视表示，希望中欧通过沟通协商解决分歧，并强调更多的保护主义只会带来更多的孤立主义。
You have done many like the trade with the France and also China. So, in your business side, how can we the company to resolve this kind of EU and China trade dispute?
Of course, facilitation, mediation, find some way concerning arbitration, but I do believe that we need to create more dialogue through different discussion mechanism, more relationship, because it's important also concerning our different sectors, our different fields. It brings usually protectionism, and protectionism is not good for both parts of it. It's crucial nowadays to share more, especially concerning those economic topics, because in this post-COVID new world, the countries can be easily fragmented, or the mindset is not fully open to new discussions.